Welcome to the podcast about stories from the center of the universe. I'm Daniel Lance.
I'm Paul Gilman, and this is Pod 1.
As one of the 27,000 lost boys of Sudan, John Dow has experienced challenges that most people could never imagine. As a young man, he fled his home during the Second Sudanese Civil War, spending much of his adolescence as a refugee, fleeing hostile militias, fighting against extreme hunger and thirst, and leading thousands of young boys just like him across hundreds upon hundreds of miles in search of safety. Today, John Dow is a compelling motivational speaker whose life is defined by his uncompromised commitment to having a lasting impact on the future of South Sudan. In our conversation, John recounts his incredible story and his activities since, including founding the John Dow Foundation, which provides crucial medical and nutritional services to the citizens of South Sudan. To get involved and donate, please visit John Dow Foundation, JOHNDAU Foundation.org. So here is John Dow.
So, John Dow, welcome to Pod 1.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Took you about 30 minutes to get over here, which I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. I wish we could have figured out a way to get over to your side of town, but here we are nonetheless.
No problem. I'm very happy doing it.
Very cool. So do you remember as a child, before all of your troubles started, what it was like day to day living in South Sudan?
It was remembering what the village was before the war. You know, it was just a simple village. It's a typical African village where, when people like us, which mean like me at that age, let's say, if you are basically if you live in South Sudan in the village, you have to have something to do. I mean, everyone has something to do. In America, kids, they play and eat and sleep. But in South Sudan, they do the same, but also do something. They have some responsibilities. And if you are, let's say, from age 4, age 5, 6, you take care of chicken, for example. So you make sure the foxes are not coming into your house or into your home state to eat your chicken. So it's your job, as young as you are, as young as 4, it's your job to make sure that the chickens are taken care of. Bobcats and foxes don't eat them. But as you progress from age 6, 7, 8, then you transition from taking care of chicken to taking care of goats and sheep. So you go out to the wilderness, to the forest, where you can take care of your goats. So your job there is to make sure hyenas, other animals such as leopard, and others will not eat them. So you gotta have to take care of, watch over them all day until you bring them home. And then from there, you transition also from, let's say, age 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then you transition from taking care of goat and sheep to taking care of cows. So you go to, again, maybe spend about few hours away from the village. You're taking care of cows. Now there will be boys from, let's say if this is a village, there'll be boys from that, a boy here and there, maybe 5 of you, 6 of you, depend. You bring your cows together. You take them far away where they can eat good grass. In America, you don't move things are put in a fence, and cows and put in a fence. They don't go to other places. There's something called trespassing, in America. But there in Africa, you just go anywhere you want. Belong to you. Nobody say, hey, this is my land, don't come here. So you take your cows that far away, and then you just play there. All of you tell stories, you take turn to go there, you go and take care of cows, make sure you go there and see they're all doing well, come back and play. You sit on a small little ant hill, because the long grass in the savanna grass is very tall. So you sit on a little bit raised area, was called ant hill, and then you just and then you do that until you bring them back, in the evening. And then you do that next day and so on. So that is what we call our school. In America, school are put in our school activities take place in a building, and then somebody call a teacher who will tell them this, that, and that. This is how you teach children in America. But in South Sudan, our schools are all over the places. So you go take care of goat, take care of chicken, take care of cows. That's your school. And if you are a girl, your job will be to, I guess, sort of the same age, will be to take care, of other siblings, or you go to the forest and get firewood, or get water far away. In America, you have water in a building, something called faucet that you turn on and then get water, and then that's it. Or also in America, you have this thing called a stove where you turn it on and then the fire come, voila, and then you cook and then turn it off. These things, we do not have those in Africa, especially in the villages. So what you do is go far away, get firewood, so for cooking, go far away, long distance where you can get water, and for the family consumption. So in all the things that we do, either taking care of chicken, taking care of goat, getting out and get firewood, get water, taking care of cows, that is our normal work. This is the day-to-day sort of activities take place. And as you do all of this, it's part of your schooling. Somebody's telling you, don't do that. This is how you take care of your animal. This is how you take care of this. This is how you walk. This is how you do this. So that is the schooling. We do not have schools in the village. So that is the setting. A village and another village will come back sometime. They have celebrations, people are wrestling, others competing, by composing songs and so on and so on. So that is the sort of a backdrop of how, in the villages, how you live in villages in Africa, especially in South Sudan.
So a lot of hard work, being independent, it sounds like at a very young age. Very different growing up in a village in Africa than it would be to, say, grow up in the Richmond suburbs.
That's correct.
Like your children are growing up in the Richmond suburbs today, right?
That's correct. Yeah. And our suburb is not like the village, because we have all the things that we have. We are so blessed to be in America, where in my house here in Richmond, we have all these things that I was talking about. We don't go out and get firewood. We don't go out and get water. We don't go out and take care of goats and cultivate and so on. Or what we do here in America, which is a blessing, I just go to a store. I just go to something called grocery store. These giant thing has all kind of food there, and then we just buy and put them in our car, and then we bring them home. Easy.
Very easy. We take it for granted, I imagine, most people in America, because they don't know any other way. Yeah. So how old were you when the war came to your village?
I was 12 years old.
12 years old. So can you describe, was it daytime or nighttime when the...
It was the nighttime. So before the war came to my village, you can tell that there's something was about to happen from the adults. You can see adults are worried, are talking about if we are attacked, if this has happened, where do we go? Do we run toward River Nile? Do we go toward the east? Do we go where? So we children, we knew something is about to happen, because you can see from the worried faces of the adults. But we keep dismissing it. Children, we just go and play. One night, when my brothers and I were sleeping in our own house, in Africa, it's not like you have a big building in the United States and then inside you have some people rooms. So in Africa, your father built your home compound into a little hut of the boys, which means little building of the boy, house of the boys, house of the girls, house of your mom, house of visitors and things like that. So my brothers and I, we were sleeping in our own house, in the middle of the night. The whistling of bullets, the bombardment woke us up in the middle of night. It was my mother calling outside. The only thing that I heard out was my mother yelling outside, saying, "Children, children, get out." As we got out, I guess I was the first. So I got out of this building, and then I saw somebody running across my home compound. I thought it was my father. Mm-hmm. So I was running after this man, and then the rest of the family took their direction. So I was running after this man that I thought was my dad. Later, it dodged into the grass, and I was coming. It grabbed my right arm and pulled me into the grass. A long line of troops were coming, shooting, burning down houses, killing anybody they could find, looting our cows. It was as if God got tired of us, and that's how the title came about. Then the guy that I thought was my father turned out to be my neighbor. And that neighbor and I, we sort of sheltered there in the long grass until the shooting died down. And then quickly was the morning. So I knew that it was my neighbor. So he and I, we kept running. So we were attacked from the west. We're running toward east. So we were running as fast as we could away from the village. Along the way there, we went for about a day. All what was in my mind, I'm thinking, is to get back to my family. Where is my mother? Where are my brothers and my sisters and my dad? And so on. So we kept going. About 2 days, we went far away from the village. And then as we were walking away, I was so hungry, there was no food. Went for, about 2 days with no food. In America, you said you go for a day without food, you're going to die. We didn't die, and so we kept going. Later, this neighbor, it dug a root of a plant called amajro, dug it out. We ate it. That was our first food after 2 days with no food. It tastes like apple. And so we kept going. Now it was clear that we were not coming back home. So we were going two of us. Later we were 5. So there were one woman and her 2 daughters and 2 of us. So we were 5. So now we kept going. Now along the way there, it was very difficult. It was very cold. I still remember. It's like as cold as here in Richmond, maybe around December or January. It's too cold here, right? So in that, that situation, in our case, it was too cold. We didn't have blanket. So imagine that you have no blanket, you have no shoes on, you have some clothes on. and it was just very cold. That was what really killed me at the time. And we were hungry too. As we kept going, moving away, as far away as we could, to find water, we most of the time listened to the sound of frog making noise, quack, quack, and then maybe there is water there. Or we look around where there's birds circling around. Maybe there's water or something is dead there. So we kept going. Something to eat. We went through abandoned home, and then we go there, look for something to eat. We could find pumpkins or can find some grain. Sometimes we eat them raw, and then so we kept going. The situation really reduced us to be chewing grass, eating anything we could find. The wild fruits, and as everything was coming at us. It's like you are drinking from the horse, So the hunger, the thirst, the element, the environmental element, the cold, everything was very difficult. And so as I say, we were 5 later, and that woman and her 2 daughters were abducted. And so 2 of us. Along the way there, we were then 18. By the time we're almost getting to Ethiopia, we were about 27 of us. So from the village to Ethiopia, it took us about 3 months to get there on foot. There's no buses, no cars, nothing.
Right.
So as we were going there, so we were trying to dodge some tribe that were very hostile, the Nuer, the Murle, the Anuak. So when we know this is a village, we either hide in the long grass until the nighttime, and then we go around these villages, around them, so that nobody can see us. So most of the time we walk at night. Sometimes we walk daytime when there's no any village around us. So as we're doing this, that actually put us in a situation where we could not find water. So I still remember between a place called Pibor and Pochala, we went there for 2 days with no water. We're looking for water. Everybody, so it's 27 of us. Now we went for almost 2 days with no water. Everyone was crying. They want to see, they want to drink water. So now desperation kick in. You are on your own. Others didn't want to move. They didn't want to move forward. They just stopped there, and they said, "I'm going to die here." Then we tried to find help somebody urinate, and then you drink urine. That did not help either. And so by the time we were better lucky, found some muddy water. Only 4 of us survived. 27, 23 died. We left them. Some were still alive and so on. So, but only 4 of us made it. Then we find good water, we drank, and then we kept going. Only 4 of us. As we were almost getting to Ethiopia, we came through villages of a tribe called Anuak. We heard that they have killed an elephant. So we went there to beg them, ask if they could give us some elephant meat. As we were approaching them, there were some of them who were very hostile. They chased us away, and then we ran away, and then it stopped there, 4 of us. And I think a little bit older gentleman, I guess he felt pity on us, and so he sort of welcome us back. So he gave a big chunk of elephant meat. So we took it. We're very happy. Cook it for hours and hours. Later, when it was ready, took it out. There was no knife to cut it. So what I did was, I had a knife, sharp teeth. So what I did, I got a bunch. Pull it and then tear it off using my teeth, and then give it to that person. Tear it off take it out from my mouth, give it to that person. So until we finished elephant meat, it was the delicious food we ate after since we were attacked, since the attack on my village. So that was really good, and that elephant meat helped us, finish the rest of the journey until we got to a place called Pinyudu refugee camp. At that time, there was no refugee camp there. It was just a place. The Ethiopian government, they show us a place and say, "Hey, you go and live there." It's just pointing to forest, to the woody area. Go and live there. So we went there and lived under tree in those trees for a while, and later we built our own houses there. And then I guess the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, known as UNHCR, heard about us, and they came. They brought some food, and they're under those trees, and then we stayed there. And then more of the lost boys and lost girls were coming from different directions. So we all converged into that area called Pinyudu refugee camp. We stayed there. We stayed there for a while, and then later, because we lost families, we decided to make our own families. So 50 people as a family. As I told you before, I was 12 years old, but I was taller than the other boys, so I was picked to become a leader of one group. My group started 50 people. And then later, add some of the boys into my group, we become 1,200 boys. Their age were from age 5 to age 15. These boys are crying every day. They want to drink milk. They want to see their mothers. They want to eat food. There is nothing I or other older boy could do to them. We just lied to them that tomorrow will be okay. Tomorrow will be good. Tomorrow will be better than today. It just lied to them. We're lying to them that tomorrow will be better. And that what we were trying to do to give our brothers some sort of hope so they can hope for tomorrow. So we stay there, and the World Food Program, then they start bringing more food. You know, in the United States, where your children, when you go to the a closet of your children and pick what they could not wear because your children have grown, and then you pick those and put them into somewhere where you can give them to Goodwill or something like that. Those clothes, wonderful. I mean, they got to us at that time. So we were given some clothes so that when it is time to distribute clothes, as these second-hand clothes, so when you are given a shirt, somebody else will be given a pant. When you're given a pant, somebody else will be given a shirt. So at least you're wearing something. And then they start giving them some, blanket, which I know here in America is called quill. They put layers of that sheet, another sheet, or 3 or 4 layers together, and they sew it together. Mm-hmm. I think the LDS, make those or somewhere else, or somebody else, So it was great. So we stayed there in Ethiopia for 4 years. Diseases such as cholera, typhoid, wolf and cough were killing boys every day. I remember my group, about 2 or 3 boys dying every day because they were not vaccinated. There was no vaccination. So boys were completely exposed to these sort of childhood diseases. And many died. My group, 2 or 3 boys die every day. We can take their bodies to bury them somewhere. And then we come back the following day to bury more bodies. We could find the bodies of those we buried the previous day eaten by wild animal, such as hyena. It was a very graphic part of a life story. But we kept going with the life there. We stayed there. And then they brought more medicines and vaccinate some of us, those who didn't die, were vaccinated. And then 4 years later, our life getting better. More food, more of everything. We were okay. But the government of Ethiopia, which was good to us, was quickly overthrown by Ethiopian rebel base in northern Sudan, which is actually the current government today in Ethiopia. They overthrew that government, and then the government that was friendly to us, was no longer there. So the new government didn't want us to stay in Ethiopia. So they gave us 7 days to move back to South Sudan or move anywhere. So the number of the lost boys and lost girls and some adults, we became 27,000. As we're moving back to South Sudan, we have to cross some rivers. So there are, rivers at the border. There's a river called Gilo. So we went there, stopped there at that river, trying to find a way to cross the river because some of us did not know how to swim. And then from there, there was no way to cross, And now, so we stay there about 3 days to trying to figure out how to cross the river. If you watch National Geographic Channel where you can see animals crossing rivers in Africa and then the crocodile grab them, that was what was about to happen to us. So one of the day about 3 p.m., the government of Ethiopia sent troops after us, and they opened fire on us, killing some of the boys, some drowned, some eaten by crocodiles, others shot and killed, others lost, some captured. For me, so I still remember when I dive into the water, we knew that these might be people from the northern Sudan are coming to take us to Sudan. So you better die than they could take you. I dived into the water, found myself in the water. I didn't know how to swim, but miraculously, I knew how to do a backstroke. I never trained myself, So, but there was this Nubian guy, big guy, jump because I guess look at me as I am. I mean, he wanted me to help him. He jumped on me, and he keeps saying, Sadiana, Sadiana, which means, help me. And then we all went under water, all the way under, I swallowed more water and so on. And then somehow we came back on the top. And he was holding me. And then we went back again. And I thought I was just that was the last day for me. Somehow, I think I yanked it out and I got out. And then I found myself outside, the other side of the river. I crossed it. The water was on my chest here, and then I crossed it. I went into the grass, into the long grass. We all ran. Those who survived and myself, we went to a place called Pochala. That garrison was controlled by Sudan People Liberation Army. That was those who were fighting the north. And so they welcomed us there. Those who survived, I think we were about 18,000 survived. We were 27,000, I think some lost, others died, others drowned, others eaten by crocodiles, others captured, whatever happened to many. So, but those survived and myself, we went there and stayed there for about 6 months there. With the Sudan People Liberation Army, the army there, the rebel, and they put their hat, we all ran out of food. And now so we start selling our clothes for food. So we go to the Anuak area. Remember, this is the same area where we found them have killed an elephant before when we were coming in.
Right.
So that is the same place. And so we then start selling our clothes. So if you have a shirt, we go into the community, into this village, and tell people we are selling shirt for food. And then they would give us a mug full of, a big cup full of corn, dry corn. And then they take your shirt. And then this is what we're going to feed on for 2 days or 3 days, it depends. And then later my turn to sell my clothes until we all sold our clothes for food. We all remain naked. So so we stayed there. The government of Sudan knew that we're back in South Sudan, so they sent Russian-made aircraft known as Antonov. They bombed us in the morning, in the afternoon, killing some of the boys and girls. So we decided to move to the interior part of South Sudan. So we left that place. We went to a place called Kapoita. From that place to Kapoita, it took us 6 months to get there. Some died along the way because of starvation and thirst. Some also were abducted along the way because this tribe along the way, they were very hostile. Especially the Murule and the Anuak there, they could use the body of human being to use as a bite for a leopard because they could kill you and leave your body there, and then they will wait for the leopard to come. Then they could kill leopard because the leopard skin used for a dowry in their culture. So we became so cheap, so our bodies would be used for as a bite. So we went to that place called Kapoita. So the number of the lost was sort of reducing as we go. Died along the way because of all the element. By the time we get to Kapoita, our number reduced to 12,000. And then we were there for 3 months. Then we were attacked from their place. Some were killed, were bombed and killed and so on. So we moved to another place called Nairus. There in Nairus, we stayed there for about a few months there, and then we were attacked from there. And that was in 1992. So we entered into another country, Kenya. We entered into Kenya there. Now, at that time, I was 17 years old. There, we in Kenya was good because the Kenyan government did not allow Sudanese troops to cross into their territories. And another good thing was that is the place where we're very comfortable, and this is where we start to go to school. This is where I start to learn A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3 at age 17.
That was the first time you were in a classroom?
First time, my classroom.
Wow.
And there was no room. There was just under a tree. So that tree like that one will be class, another tree, a class like that. So you sit on the dirt using your finger as a pencil to write your A, B, C, D's or all of this. We were very happy because we're getting education. Very happy. So we work hard. The United Nations, God bless United Nations agency, those who are giving us everything, and they're paying our teachers to teach us by giving them food. That was their salary. It was great. So we work hard. We stayed there in Kenya, although it was very rough, but it was not like other refugee camps, because the Turkana, the people in that area were also very rough too. They were killing some of the boys as well. And so, but they were not as bad as the other group. So we stayed there until 2000 when I finished my high school there. And then we were told that, Americans are here to take you to America. So this is when our next chapter starts. So we stayed there in Kenya for about nine years in refugee camp.
You had been away from your home village for 14 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So who was bringing Lost Boys to America?
So what happened is, and as you know, Paul, that in the United States they have a refugee program. They bring all kind of people from different places to United States, which is what makes America great. And in 2000, I think it was accepted or maybe discussed at the Congress that the Lost Boys will be given a chance to come to America. And the way the America do it is America would consult with UNHCR that what type of a group that need to be resettled, that war is still long in their country, that it's going to be very difficult for them to go back to their country. So it was us in 2000, the year 2000. So the idea that the program of the Lost Boys started by the Congress, and then the Congress contracted some agencies in the United States, such as Joint Voluntary Agents and INS, plus others as well. And then they sent their representative to the camp. First time to see an American. We were told that Americans are here, they will take you to America. We didn't believe them. The way Americans looked at these tall guys with long noses, and from there, they said they will take us to America, and we really didn't believe them. And then before the end of 2000, the year 2000, 2001, before the end of 2001, they returned. They came back, and then they started doing paperwork, taking some of the Lost Boys to Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya. And it was real now. We thought, oh, wow, we're going to go to America. Now, a topic about America is everywhere. People are talking about America as if they know America. Some people will say, John, it's okay to be lazy in America. Because if you are lazy in America, American will tie something called green card around your neck. And you just go to any restaurant, and then the owner of the restaurant will say, hey, you are a refugee, welcome, come and eat for free. And then you come in. I say, wow, this is great. While others were saying, if you go to America, America have a very wonderful technology. So you want to go to a restaurant in America, you don't need somebody to serve you. So what you get is you entered into the building called a restaurant, and then you sit in front of a big table. And on the top of those big tables, there's some button. There's chicken button, there's beef button, vegetable button. So if you want to eat chicken, you just push chicken button, and chicken coming rolling from nowhere. I say, wow, this is I would like to push this chicken button. While others say, John, be careful when you go to America, because American girls are crazy. I say, how crazy American girls? And they explain, they said, any girl in America, they carry a small bag. And they said, do you know what is in those bags? I said, no. They say they have guns in it. If you mess up with American girl, they'll shoot and kill you, you know? And I said, this is a country where women are, you have chicken butt and women are killing people. You know, what am I going to do? Well, a few days later, my name came out on the board. They said, John, you're going to Syracuse, New York. Okay. I said, okay. You know, I'm going to go to America because of girls. I'll stay away from American girls. So then I was flown to Europe and then to JFK, New York. And then we were then took another airplane to, apply to Syracuse, New York. And then there at Syracuse, New York, there were people from our church waiting for us outside. And as we merged out of the corridor, I guess one of them ran up to us and said, hey, John, welcome to us. I think they knew we were from Africa, very, very dark skin and skinny. They knew that we came from Africa. So they ran up to us and they said, yeah, okay. They greet us. They were very nice people. They asked us how was our flight and so on. And they were very, very nice people. But there were 4 girls there. I didn't want to go and hug those girls. I thought I would mess them up and shoot and kill me. So I stayed away from them. So they took us to our apartment, which actually took them the entire day to show us how to turn off light, turn on light, twist it, push it, the hot water, the cold water. You know, this is where the refrigerator is. This is what kind of food you put in the fridge, this kind of food you don't put in the fridge, like dry corn, like you can't put it there. You know, there are things that known as, fridgeable. Those are the things that you gotta. So it took them really the entire day for them to show us how the apartment worked. But before they go back to their home, they say, John, you know what? Let's take you to the grocery store so we could show you how to buy groceries. I said, okay. So we went there, and so I was following to Susan Myers and Penny Allen. So we are coming to this just very big building and known as grocery store. At that time, we were called Peters. So we're coming closer and closer and closer to the door of this building, and a magic door opened itself like that. I was amazed. And I say, truly, the American people are very lazy, and that's why they don't want to pull the door or push the door. But I didn't want to tell those women. I thought they would be angry and shoot and kill me, so I'll stay away. So we went inside of this grocery store. I got to tell you, I mean, when we went inside here, so lots of food. What I know today called salad, I thought there's grass for animals. You know, I did not know people can eat grass if they were not in our situation, you know. But it's something called salad. We went, up on aisles of that food, and even we came upon aisles of dog food and cat food. I was so amazed, I got to tell you. I mean, the country is so wealthy, even animal own aisles, It was unbelievable. But anyway, so we went there, and we went to this section of milk, right? And you know that milk is so important in our diet. At home in the village, milk is very important for us. But since 1987 to 2001, we never drink milk at all. So we found milk, and I said, this looks like milk. And Susan said, yeah, there's milk. And I said, it's milk from a cow. And she said, yes. Are you sure that's milk? And then she said, yeah. So she went ahead and then looked at it, and it was on it, so it's milk. So 3 of us, so what we did was we picked each of us with 2 gallons of milk, this big gallon, 6 gallons, and we put them in the tray. And they said, okay, so you want to take all 6 of them? We say, yeah. And they look at each other, and, in America, American people are very polite. They don't want to embarrass us or whatever it is. I mean, they look at each other, and they just, okay. You don't want to buy other food? We say, no, this is enough. So we put all the 6 gallons of milk in the cart, and then we went and checked out.
Wow.
So we checked the 6 gallon of milk out. We went in, we were so happy. We went back to our apartment. We could not wait that the American can go home quick, So they said, okay, John, we're going to leave, okay? Yeah, I say, okay. Close the door quickly. They were gone, and then we start drinking our milk. We've been drinking milk for a week, with no any other food. So it was very, very good, This is our experience. So the people from our church, they pick us every Sunday to take us to church. And every Sunday they say, hey, don't forget, snow is coming, make sure you help South Sudanese, help the refugees, and so on. They always, in their bulletin, when the pastor is preaching, and so on. And so people have been buying all these ugly stuff, like a hat, a glove, and boots, and big coats, and so on. Anyway, about October 18, there was, there was snow in East Syracuse, around Syracuse University. So Cindy from our church said, John, you should call and say, John, there is snow around Syracuse University. I'll come and pick you so you can see snow. I said, yeah, okay. So she picked me up. We went to see snow for the first time. It was something white. So I just grab a bunch of snow and then squeeze it, turned into water. So she got a bunch of snowball and threw it at me, and I did the same thing. So we were exchanging snowball. A few minutes later, my hand felt numb. And I said, you know what, we got to go home. Let's go back, it's cold. She said, okay. So what I did, I gathered a big bunch of snow like this, a big snowball, and put it in her trunk of her car. And then we went to our apartment, and I say, Andrew and Jacob, the snowball is still intact, very big. Andrew and Jacob, come and see snow. And they all came out, and we look at snowball, and, well, we took it inside and put it on our dining table. 5 minutes later, start melting. It is a stupid thing to do, but that's what I call a cultural introduction to American, culture and weather. So those were sort of a situation after that, After that, we are supposed to be helped for 3 months. After 3 months, we were then on our own. Now you have to pick a job and work and support yourself.
What was your job?
My first job at McDonald's, grilling hamburgers and doing dishes in McDonald's. My other second job, I was producing what is called the plate. These machines that you use to shave your beard. And then so I took on about 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. So sleeping only for 2 or 3 hours a day. Went from job to job. It was great because I was able to support my people back in the refugee camp.
So the 27,000 that you were at the height, the most people, the most lost boys and girls, how many ended up in the States?
About 5,000.
Wow. And so were some still alive but back in Kenya?
Oh, yeah. Some still alive now. Many who didn't, maybe there would have been many who would have been allowed to come. But because of September 11, that when we were coming, that's when America was strike. Right. And America changed migration policies, and that has affected us. So some of them, remained to stay in a refugee camp until South Sudan became independent. Many of them now are in South Sudan, part of the government right now. Many of them are working for United Nations agencies, or some of them also work for me as well in South Sudan.
So where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife in Kenya, in Kakuma refugee camp. I met her, there one day as we were leaving school, going home. Because there's school somewhere and then home there. So we were walking home. And so Martha, my wife, was sort of like ahead of me, but the two guys in the middle between her and me, there were two guys. But these two guys were very naughty. I mean, they were just kicking dust at her feet, like, intentionally doing that. And then Martha, my wife, then stepped off the road and then let these two guys, mean guys, go for. And I said, wow, that is a very good Dinka girl. So I said, well, let me see where she's going to go. I want to know where her home is. So I was following her as we go. I didn't go to my way. I just want to know where she's going to go. And then she went to her home. I said, okay, that is her home. I'm going to come back at some point. That's how I, come back and then start dating her.
And so did she go to Syracuse as well?
No, she went to Washington State.
Oh, wow.
She came first before me. 8 months later, came to Syracuse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And what about your family, John, that you were separated from as a child? Did you continue to look for them?
Yes. So when we came to Syracuse, people from our church said, if you want, we can post your letters to tell to your friend in the camp that you are okay, that you have arrived in America and that you are okay, and so on. I said, God, that's good. So the church organized that. So we wrote our letters to friends we have. So I wrote a letter to my friend. And my friend, luckily he received my letter in the camp. And then he traveled to Uganda. From there, he was talking about America, how America is good, and that even women are not killing people. Women don't have guns to kill people. And then my brother was listening to him. And this friend of mine called Daniel kept saying, my friend John said this, my friend John went to America. So my brother went to him after that and said, so who is this John? Oh, he said, it's John from the Dinka. In South Sudan you have tribe. So Dinka, from Bor, from Duk, from Nyarweng. And my brother said, could that be my brother John? They say, well, maybe not. John might have died a long time ago. Anyway, that guy was invited. Later, friend of mine was invited to go to refugee camp where my parents were in Uganda. And then I asked again, and he said, yeah, he said the same thing. So my older brother took my address on that letter and said, okay, maybe I'm going to write to him. And he wrote to say, if you're my brother John, know that we are in Uganda, we're still alive. But if you're a different John, disregard it, So they sent a letter and put some pictures in it. So I received a letter on October 18, 2002, and I could not believe that my family is still alive. So I was able to, start the paperwork for them and the process to bring them to United States. Only my mother and my younger sister were allowed. My father, my other brothers, there is a rule there. You cannot bring your sibling, but you can bring your mom, you can bring your dad. So I could not bring my brothers and sisters, but I was able to bring my mother to United States. If you watch the documentary God Grew Tired of You, when I met her at the airport.
Yeah, I remember I watched that scene a couple of days ago, and I think that was one of the most powerful scenes from the movie.
Right.
And she was just singing and dancing through the airport because she's so happy.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned that you communicated back and forth with letters with the people in Kakuma, and what else? What else have you been doing in terms of like work to help give back to the lost boys that stayed in Kenya?
Right. So I really didn't do anything other than just sending money to them, sending $100 there, $1,000, something like that, giving to them, especially those in Kenya. But I have helped by especially people in South Sudan by bringing health care there. I mean bringing health clinic there. So I formed I end up forming about 5 nonprofit organizations, of which I'm running 2 of them now, the John Dow Foundation and South Sudan Nation Builders. The John Dow Foundation has built medical facilities that we right now, as we speak, we have about 19 facilities, medical facilities, and also nutrition facilities too. We have fed over 1 million people through our nutrition services program. We have treated over 900,000 people through our health program as well. We did eye surgeries for 600 people who were completely blind. I mobilized doctors in America, took them there, and they did eye surgery for these people. Over 300,000 children being born in that facilities, these John Dow Foundation facilities. So this is a way that I have used my influence in America, and also as a sort of giving it forward to help my people back in South Sudan. Now, John Dow Foundation have 450 employees. Most of them are lost boys who could not come to America. So that is a sort of a giving back that I have instituted, put together.
Yeah, that's incredible, and especially given the difficulty that you've been through in life, it's really inspiring that you were able to turn it into something so positive for the world.
Yeah, and that's the only place in the world that you can do that is United States, where you can turn a terrible experience into something positive, into something that can help others. Only because in America, because you have people that are willing to contribute, to give to that. People that are willing to give their time into your work, being part of this work. So it is possible because of the United States.
But also, I'm sure that you had to work incredibly hard and struggle, especially in the documentary, the first few months, working 2-3 jobs, not sleeping a lot. That must have been very difficult. And I'm sure it's been a huge struggle, but impressive nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not trying to downplay how hard it is when in America to do things like that. But I also came from where you can work hard, but nothing you can show it for because there are no resources you can make this happen. So coming to America, I tell to my refugee friends, when you come to America, is half of your success has already been achieved. 50% of your success is already achieved once you come to this country. So it's up to you to do the other 50%. That does not mean everything is easy here. It is good to work hard, and then you can see something that you work for, make it happen. But there are places you can work so hard, but nothing you can show for it because the system and the environment and the people will not make it happen. So, but in the United States, it is, if you do that, maybe some people that are hearing me, they will say I'm naive, but I'm not naive. The label, the field, that's what America always labeled the field so that people can play fairly. It has been labeled in the United States than anywhere else in the world. Label is, even though it is a little bit rough in America, America is attempting to label it so that it is smooth for everyone. It's up to you, your ability, your hard work, your habit, your attitude toward work. That what will make you not achieve it. Like I said, there may be those who will say, well, you are naive. No, I'm not naive because I have experience.
Yeah.
I came from Ethiopia. I came from Kenya. I came from South Sudan. I know those areas.
And your story, all it takes is for someone to look at a story like yours as proof of that. Even though America it might have some problems, but the fact that it's possible for you to have done what you've done is incredible in its own right.
How did you end up in Richmond?
How did I come to Richmond? Well, I'm a motivational speaker, so I'm invited by corporations, universities, high school, and so on. 2015, I was invited by my friend, who his name is called Mike Henry, been supporting John Dow Foundation. One of his children, went to collegiate school. So one day, his son came back with a book called Long Walk to Water. Long Walk to Water, it's a book written on behalf of my friend called Salfadut. It's a Lost Boys as well. So his dad, Michael has asked his son, this book, it's about Lost Boys. So, oh yeah, I know my friend John Dow, who lives in Syracuse, New York. I'm going to invite John to come and speak at collegiate. So he invited me. I said, John, you know what? How about if you give some, few of your time here to come and speak here at my son's school? I said, okay, absolutely, I'm going to do it. So I came here 2015, and I spoke at collegiate. Unlike other places that I have been to before, I spoke over maybe 4,000 places. But collegiate stand out. People are very happy. The school look very great, very good, and the workers, the teachers, the faculties, and all of those children. The students were very happy. And I asked Michael, why is this group so happy like this? I said, yeah, John, this is the tradition here. I said, okay, well, this is great. I like the school. And said, even your children can come here too. And I said, no, I don't think I'll leave Syracuse. And he said, yeah, you know. So I went back to Syracuse, and he said, John, are you thinking about, please think about collegiate. You might come here. This community is wonderful, great community. And I said, well, okay, well, I'll think about it. And then he kept asking me whether I thought about it, to move here. I said, yeah, well, maybe I'll try. And, because I want to make it easy for him, I just say, okay, let me apply. And I thought maybe they would just say no to my children. And then I'll tell them, it's okay, I try my best anyway, but they didn't. The school say, hallelujah, come. We would like your children to be here. You too, if you can come, maybe give us 20% of your time or 10% of your time to come to school and maybe teach here. Oh, I said, wow, this is good, I decided I take risks most of the time. My life had been risk.
Right.
And I said, that's okay. The same America. And actually, beside, Richmond is a little bit warmer than Syracuse, New York. So I would be closer to Africa, So, I told my wife said, well, and then anyway, our friend in Syracuse said, no, don't go to Richmond. Don't you think that place is South United States? It says Southern. And I said, what is Southern? Well, they talk about, how whatever it is. And I said, that's okay. I've been to many places before, let me try. And so I took a risk. I came to Richmond in 2016. And I got to tell you, since then, I think I made a very good decision because the people at collegiate school is a wonderful, wonderful community.
Two things real quickly. Mike Henry is the voice actor.
Yes.
Mike Henry?
Yes.
Yes. So he's fairly well known.
Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the second thing is, collegiate is my high school's arch rival.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where is your high school?
I would say Christopher's.
St. Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I should not talk about it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. It's been a long time. So you were telling us before we started recording, you have 5 children. Tell us a little bit about your children.
Yeah, my children, I have 5 of them. I have my older, firstborn. It's a daughter. Her name is called Agot, A-G-O-T. She's now in 8th grade now. Wonderful, wonderful, smart young girl. She's doing very well in school, collegiate. The second born is my son, Lake. It's spelled L-E-E-K, but it's pronounced as Lake. He's doing very well, 6th grade now. He's 12 years old. My third is my daughter, Akur. She's now 5th grader. She's 10 years old. Wonderful, the best reader in the house. We last summer we compete. Who is going to read more pages? She came up. She read over 10,800 pages and so on. So she was way up there. And my fourth child is also my daughter, Anier. She's 5th grader now, 6 years old. And my last born is my son, Alair. He is now JK, right now collegiate as well. A wonderful team, my children and my wife, Martha.
Awesome. You have the most amazing story of perseverance and positive spirit and hard work and just an amazing story. And so anything else you want to tell us about the John Dow Foundation?
Like, where can people find it and donate?
They can go to www.johndowfoundation.org. People pronounce or write my name as D-O-U or D-O-W. It's D-A-U, John Dow, J-O-H-N Dow Foundation.org. They can go to that. We have a very good program that I went to Washington, D.C. last week, this week actually. We launched what we call a mass up for good. So we produce about 800 masks, face masks. That is, we're asking people to donate, and then they'll get a mask. They donate at least $75, and they get get a one mask there. So it's a best way to support us that way, or either way. John Dow Foundation is saving life. We have we are the largest employer in the area. John Dow Foundation is not going to go away. It's going to be there in South Sudan. So I want to build that organization. By the time I'm gone, I'm no longer on earth. It will be there to continue to help generation after generation.
That's fantastic. And so we encourage our listeners to absolutely contribute to your foundation. Your foundation is doing amazing work. And we have to conclude with, we met you through Courtney Farrell. And so I wanted to mention Courtney's name. And how do you and Courtney know each other?
Well, Courtney, she has her children go to collegiate. And that's the one area where we met. But also they have been asking me to come to speak to people that their client. So I do come, sometime to talk to their client as well, give them some sort of inspiration according to her.
She's right.
Yeah, Courtney is a wonderful human being.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Well, John, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and it was great hearing your story. I know you've told it a lot of times, but I appreciate you telling it one more time.
God bless you all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to subscribe through whichever app you're using. To share your thoughts, head over to our website at podso1.io, and there you can comment on episodes or send us feedback directly. Thanks for listening.